The Rock Island 1911 Standard GI Full Size is a great representation of the standard GI duty pistol produced by Colt. Let's go ahead and take a deeper look at this guy. It's 8.5, or I believe 8.57 inches long. It's 5.5 inches tall, has a 5-inch barrel with 6 grooves with a 1 16th twist. It's a single action hammer fired pistol, and it has pretty much all the standard features of the original Colt produced 1911 GI Duty. And the only main difference would be the flat back strap and the beveled magwell. That definitely helps with magazine changes. So I do like those upgrades. And one other upgrade I've noticed is the standard produced 1911 did not have this cutout here, but that cutout's pretty nice because it's going to help aid with ejection. Now it does have the standard GI sights on here, and they are not replaceable. I've noticed they have gotten a little wear on the finish on those guys, but they have held up very well. And they're not super quick sights for me, but they're very attainable, and they're extremely accurate with that very narrow front post. Parkerized finish is pretty good, but it does pick up some scrapes and stuff like that. That's just the nature of the beast with Parkerized. It's a very cool finish, but definitely will pick up some defects and stuff. We do have some vertical serrations on the back. That definitely is going to help a little. I would prefer side, but the main reason I got this pistol is because I wanted a close replication of the Colt 1911 GI without having to fork out a lot of money for an actual Colt. Now it is very impressive in that aspect, and I really like it for that. It's very nostalgic. It's just a very beautiful pistol in my opinion. On the front here, we don't have any of those serrations either. There is some in the trigger, on the trigger, but we do not have that on the front grip. But like I said, this is that classic style 1911, no frills. And Rock Island does have all the way up to competition style 1911s. You have plenty of options with these guys in some very cool calipers like the 22 TCM. There is nice slide serrations on the slide. That definitely assists in racking the slide. And of course, we do have an empty chamber with an empty magazine in the pistol. You always want to make sure you're practicing safety. This is a single action pistol, so the hammer does have to be cocked back in order for you to pull that trigger on it. But if you cock it back, it has a very short take up, a little slop in the trigger, and then you just hit a wall. And this trigger goes straight back versus a lot of hinged triggers. So I really like the 1911 style trigger bow triggers. So here we go. And really nothing to it. Let's see what the reset looks like. Yeah, so it's got a great trigger in my opinion. Very positive safety on this guy as well.
To the left.
You do have some checkering on the hammer, and I really like that. It's extremely easy to cock back, and the beaver tail definitely protects you from that hammer coming back and giving you hammer bite. I have pretty meaty hands, but it helps with that. Now, one caveat I have with this pistol is the beaver tail safety, the grip safety on it. It has a very sharp edge right here. It's just almost a 90-degree edge, and it has been cutting in. Now, one of the last times I shot it, it has healed up, but that's from just 2 days ago with me shooting this guy again. So I believe I might upgrade this guy. I think Wilson Combat makes some that are beveled, and I've heard good things about those, so I believe I will upgrade that. That's just something to keep in mind. Now, of course, on this guy, you don't have any rails or anything, really no frills, and it did come with this guy not as polished on the barrel, but I did polish that up. It's no big deal, and it did not affect anything with the reliability. I really like the wooden grips. The screw actually came out on the top here throughout shooting. That screw loosened up, of course, and you can see me drop it, and I went back after the clip and picked it up. I want to point out that did come out. It's really honestly not even a big deal. It did not affect anything with this gun's reliability, but I just wanted to point out that happened. Now, as far as putting it back in, I just screwed it right back in. It's been fine ever since. I think we've shot a few hundred rounds through it ever since then. One other thing I really love that Rock Island did is their logo. Originally, they had the big billboard on this, but just that small logo in the back is pretty nice. You have a really good takedown lever and slide release. It does have a decent distance, and this is pretty close to spec on the sizing of a 1911, but it's got a decent distance from your thumb. I have very long fingers for the most part compared to other people, and this guy, I'm having a tough time engaging it without coming out of my grip, but honestly, I just kind of practiced using my support hand to lock that guy. But it's really nice. It's got good checkering, and it's very positive. Comparing this guy to a modern pistol, we have these guys kind of lined up here, and as you can tell, barrel to barrel, you have more hanging off on the end from the 1911. This is a Glock 17. They're about the same height. The 1911's magazine's hanging out lower, but you do have at least a good 1.25 inches hanging off of there. Thickness-wise, the 1911 is not a super thick pistol. It's going to have a little more width in the grip area, but all in all, these are kind of close. And of course, this is 45 and holds 9 with one in the chamber. This guy will hold 18, or you can get a 33 round mag for that. So there is some drawbacks in self-defense. Honestly, this is a great pistol, but I did not get it necessarily for the self-defense role. I got it for just the cool factor of it, and me just loving the platform of 1911. And knowing that this is a great entry-level pistol, I got this for $400. So it's a great priced pistol, and it has a bunch of great features in comparison to some very high priced pistols, and the reliability of this guy definitely holds up in comparison to some of the very expensive 1911s out there. Now this is a very heavy pistol too. This guy is 2.5 pounds. So it is a very weighty pistol, but that definitely helps out with the balance of it when you're shooting it. And you can really find your groove with this guy, and it can be very manageable. As you could tell in the videos, pretty much everyone who has shot this loved it, and some have really gotten very well at shooting it. 1911. Let's do some work. Check out that smudgy grease. She's getting some ammo ran through her today. She's getting ran. We've about hit 500 rounds on it, haven't we?
Yep.
Just about, man. It's,
almost, or probably at like 440.
Breaking cycle, no issues.
Not one.
Knock on the hardwood grip. Beep. So we put over 1,000 rounds through this pistol, and I must say it has had 0 issues. Not one single hiccup has happened out of this pistol. The one thing I will add to that is that we did clean the mags and clean the pistol and lube it up every time after the range. And I did do that before I took it out initially. But honestly, that's something I do with all my pistols. I don't abuse them like that. But it has had 0 issues. I believe Rock Island calls for a break-in period of rounds, but honestly, I didn't have to do anything to get this to run. It was running right out of the box. So it's a super reliable pistol. It's a great platform. Rock Island has really made a name for themselves, and they really have stepped it up and really should be proud of themselves for this pistol. So if you're in the market for an entry-level 1911 pistol, you cannot go wrong with the Rock Island 1911. All of their pistols are well known. They have a great warranty, lifetime warranty, and you will have a ton of fun. You will not regret it. Thank you so much for checking us out, guys. Definitely check us out on Facebook. We're on BitChute, Gunstreamer, and YouTube. Depending on the platform you're at, go check us out over there as well. And definitely make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share for more. I can't wait to do some more reviews for you guys, and see you in the comments.
All done.